dovuto resettare la commissione causa malanni stagionali del presidente del corso di studio, professor Giampiero Sacchetti, quindi ci siamo dovuti resettare un attimo. Oggi è una giornata importante per il nostro Ateneo, per il corso di studio magistrale in Scienze e Tecnologie Alimentari, Food Science and Technology, perché abbiamo un importante evento internazionale nel nostro percorso formativo. Attribuiamo la prima, diciamo così, la laurea. Grazie. Attribuiamo la prima laurea per il doppio titolo in Food Science and Technology che abbiamo definito assieme alla Chulalongkorn University Bangkok in Thailandia. Visto il contesto internazionale, da adesso in poi sono obbligata ovviamente a parlare e a esprimermi in inglese, anche perché abbiamo i nostri ospiti dall'altra parte diciamo così, del nostro mondo che ci stanno ascoltando. So, thank you very much for coming here this morning. We have a small delay due to some seasonal illnesses of the president of the coordinator of the master degree program in Food Science and Technology. This morning, all of us will be attending an important event for us, an important target of the activities of the master degree in Food Science and Technology, because after some time, after a long time actually, especially due to the COVID, we managed to finalize the first graduation, the achievement of the master degree of the first student, in this case from Thailand, from the Chulalongkorn University in Food Science and Technology, to whom we will award the master degree in Food Science and Technology as a double degree, as a part of the double degree curriculum of the master degree. We are very pleased to have in Thailand, in Bangkok, attending with us two of our colleagues, in particular Chalida. She knows that I cannot pronounce her surname, with whom we shared the planning and the finalization of the double degree in Food Science and Technology between the University of Teramo and the Chulalongkorn University, as a part and as outcome of an Erasmus capacity building where both University of Teramo and the Chulalongkorn University were partners. And a second guest we have this morning is Sarisa, here again for the surname, who is the co-tutor of the student to whom this morning, for sure, we will award the master degree title. So I don't want to lose more time than we planned this morning, also because also our colleagues in Bangkok are attending this main effect. Sorry. This was not expected, okay. And so I'm very pleased to introduce this morning the first student we have in the list, and the student that is to whom this morning the double degree, the master degree part of the double degree will be awarded. So please let me introduce Mujahid Hassan Khan, who is here and will give the presentation, followed by a discussion with the committee. And we have, as a part of the committee, also Sarisa and Chalida. Okay, the video is yours. Yes, we have now to... Interrompi condivisione, deve essere già posto. Okay. Thank you. You should be, I mean, okay.
Okay. I tried to have some notes, but it's showing there.
No. Like it was before. It's
Okay. Sure, problem. Good morning, everyone. I am Mujahid Hassan, and today I'm going to present on the topic of my thesis, which is the tribological behavior of olive oil-based emulsions stabilized with pea protein isolates. And here is the outline for today's presentation, and we will start with the introduction. So basically, oral tribology is an interdisciplinary approach in which we use biomechanics and the sensory perception and sensory studies in order to make a correlation between the physical properties with the mouthfeel and sensory attributes. As we can see in this figure that there are basically two zones in which the whole oral tribology, oral processing has been divided, which is rheology zone and the tribology zone. As we see that in starting there is the more dominated region which is due to the rheological aspects of the food, and in the later parts of food oral processing, the more linked is towards the tribological aspects, and every surfaces including in our mouth are responsible for the tribological properties of the food. As we can see in this figure that for example, in case of emulsions, there are different parts of the food, which includes particles, proteins, or fat globules. But in case for rheological aspects, they play a very vital role. For example, the size of particle, the number of particles, the size of droplets in case of emulsions. And here we can see the oral system of human, in which we can see different parts which are involved throughout the oral processing, and also when we try to intake the food, there are different reactions of our mouth, and there are different interactions which gives us the mouth feel and sensory perception, which includes the which can be the fat droplet coalescence, and some adsorbing materials can give some mouth feel. And why we use the plant protein is that they are vegan friendly, they are hypoallergic, and they are less connected to genetically modified organisms. Meanwhile, we have these benefits. Still, there are some drawbacks that can cause the hindrance in the use of these plant-based proteins, which are astringency and limited solubility and complex structures. We are more drawn towards the pea protein. And why is that? Because pea proteins are amply available all over the world, and also they have very promising properties of emulsification. And also, pea proteins are more linked towards the astringent perception, which is more linked to the rough feeling at our mouth and palate, and that can be not so good for the consumers. Which can be to the fact that these proteins contains the polyphenols that can cause this astringent behavior in proteins. So why we use olive oil? Olive oil are used for its bioactive properties in food as well as medicinal purposes, and the bioactive compound and polyphenols are responsible for the properties, and also antioxidant compounds are present in olive oil, which are responsible for the better stability of the emulsion systems. So the objectives of our study were to characterize the tribological and rheological properties of olive oil stabilized emulsions with pea protein isolates, and to validate the findings with the droplet size distribution and microstructural examination, and to formulate the emulsion system using extra virgin olive oil with pea protein isolates, and to comprehensively analyze the system. Basically, the idea was to analyze the rheological properties and to understand the impact on the tribological behaviors. So for materials and methodology, we used C9 protein, which was commercially produced, and for olive oil and extra virgin olive oil, we acquired from the local market, and for methodology, the olive oil in water emulsions were prepared using high pressure homogenizer, and for analysis of droplet size distribution we use mastersizer, and for flow behaviors we used rheometer, and with tribological assembly we analyzed the tribological measurements, and microscope for optical microscopy, and then Fouling test was used to analyze the total phenolic content in the emulsion in the oils, and then interfacial tension using tensiometer. Now we will move towards the results. Basically, we will move, we are presenting here some specified results, not all, and we will move from general towards more specific. So the first part included the effect of different olive oil content and dispersion degree on the rheological and tribological behaviors of olive oil in water emulsion systems. As we can see in this figure, figure 1a, which shows the droplet size distribution of emulsions, and we can clearly see that all the emulsions showed bimodal distribution, as well as a shift towards the larger droplets population as we increase the amount of oil or the phase volume. On the other hand, we can see the D43 values of the emulsions, and we can see that as we reach the phase volume 0.3, there was an abrupt increase in D43 values, and after that a plateau value was observed. And these findings were verified with the rheological assessments, in which we found out that phase volume 0.1 and 0.2 showed Newtonian behavior, while the phase volume 0.3 until 0.5 showed a non-Newtonian shear thinning behavior. And also with phase volume 0.4 and 0.5, the systems were more packed and as compared to the other systems. In this slide, we can see the tribological behavior of emulsion stabilized with different phase volumes, and we can see that with phase volume 0.1 and 0.2 we had very high friction coefficient, and with the phase volume 0.3 until 0.5 showed very low friction coefficient, and that can be related to the fact that higher the oil content, lower will be the friction of the emulsion systems. And also with 0.1 and 0.2 phase volume, the emulsions the droplets can be more stable, and they are less prone towards the coalescence phenomenon. So in the second part, we move towards the rheological and tribological behavior of olive oil in water emulsions with the different olive oil content and comparable dispersion degree. So basically, the idea was to exclude the effect of different dispersion degrees. So we, at this point, we did the optimization with a very wide range of number of cycles and pressure with the homogenizer to obtain the comparable dispersion degree. And we considered dx90 values for that. Why is that? Because it's nearly impossible to obtain the similar droplet size distribution, but we can obtain comparable dx90 values. Here we can see the results of, on the left side we can see the results of samples processed with the standard standard conditions, and on the right side of the figure we can see the samples processed with optimized condition. And a clear difference can be seen with the phase volume 0.2. As we can see with the optimized condition, we have a relatively low friction coefficient. And if we more specifically talk about this graph, we can see that this difference cannot be related to the droplet size. And the reason is because they have similar droplet size. And still, this higher friction can be related to the fact that there are less number of particles that have the rolling ability in the system. That's why it's showing relatively higher friction in the case of 0.2 phase volume as compared to 0.3 and 5. And we move to the third part, which is the effect of different olive oil types, phase volume, and dispersion degree on the rheological and tribological behavior. So in the next part, we move towards the replacing of olive oil with extra virgin olive oil in order to see the impact of changing the olive oil. And we were not able to emulsify the samples at phase volume 0.5. And the reason is that jellification occurred. Because with extra virgin olive oil, we observed that there was a very high number of, there were very bigger droplets that caused the blockage in the system, and we could not complete the homogenization cycle. So what we did was to mix the olive oil and extra virgin olive oil and to make the emulsions with the mixed olive oil. And for the reason that there must be some interfacial activity of olive oil, and also there should be some tensioactive compounds that could have some competition at the interface that can cause this flocculation. So we analyzed the total phenolic content and also the interfacial tension, and results showed that with extra virgin olive oil we had a very high amount of total phenolic contents, and we can see that it was in inverse relation with the interfacial tension, with the olive oil with the least and having the interfacial tension the maximum. And these results were verified by the droplet size distribution, as we can see that with in case of 0.2 phase volume and EVO, extra virgin olive oil, there were the highest, the biggest particles were observed in this case, and with the just olive oil, we had very smart distribution, while mixed olive oil showed the intermediate behavior, and same behavior was observed in case of phase volume 0.3. And for 0.5, we can already see that with mixed olive oil, the droplets were very big, so we could not, we were not able to homogenize with the extra virgin olive oil. So here are the tribological behaviors of emulsions with olive oil, EVO, and mixed olive oil with the phase volume 0.2. As we can see in this figure that phase volume 0.2 with olive oil showed the highest friction, and with extra virgin olive oil and mixed olive oil, it was superimposing in the boundary regime. And that can be related to the fact that with the extra virgin olive oil and mixed olive oil, we have relatively bigger droplet size, and that can help in better lubrication properties, as they have for phase volume 0.2 the particles are very small, and they can just enter the contacting surfaces and without lowering the friction. And in case of phase volume 0.3, we can see that with EVO, we had the highest friction, and that can be related to the fact that the small droplets can pass easily from the system, but the larger droplets can cause, it is difficult for them to pass from the system. But at higher speeds, there is a possibility of flocculation that can cause this higher friction. And same was observed in case of phase volume 0.5 with mixed olive oil. And for the last part, we studied the rheological and tribological behavior of olive oil in water emulsions with different olive oil types and comparable dispersion degree. But for this case, we just analyzed with the phase volume 0.3. As we can see, the flow curves of 3 different type of oil with similar phase volume, they showed a different behavior of viscosity as well as the flow curves. And we can see that at this point, we did a very wide range of optimization with a very wide range of pressure and number of cycles to obtain the comparable dispersion degree. As we can see in this slide that all of these 3 showed very different behavior. With mixed olive oil showed the lowest friction behavior. That can be due to the fact that at higher speeds there can be a possibility of the droplets to coalescence and cause the oil film formation or oil patch formation that can help in lowering the friction. While in case of extra virgin olive oil, we can see that it was intermediate friction that can be related to the fact that they have more particles that have rolling ability and can cause the lowering in the friction. And here we can see the mechanism that with oil droplets, the rolling phenomena, we get the curves like this. They are not like oil patch, which is very low in friction and abrupt decrease, just like in case of mixed olive oil phenomena. So these findings were also endorsed by the analysis of photomicrographs, in which we can see that there was a coalescence observed in case of olive oil and mixed olive oil and also the EVO. But with mixed olive oil, we can see that there was a lot of destabilization that can have caused the oil patch formation between the PDMS surfaces and can cause the lowering in the friction. So now we will move towards the conclusion, which is that from our results we found that there was a shift from Newtonian to non-Newtonian shear thinning behavior with increasing the phase volume, and at higher oil content was more related to the reduced friction, and a significant dispersion and flow behavior variations observed with different sort of oils like extra virgin olive oil and mixed olive oil, and notable differences in friction behavior within the emulsions due to oil variation, and the initial correlation between higher phenolic content and increased friction influenced by dispersion properties. And optimization efforts reduce the droplet size, and that helped in lowering the friction coefficient as well. The ongoing research in the future, we are planning to do to relate these tribological assessments with sensory analysis in order to have a better picture of what we observe in the graphs can be attributed to the mouthfeel and the sensory perception. And this was all about my presentation, and I would like to thank to Prof. Carla Di Mattia, Prof. Pitya, and Prof. Sarisa, also Prof. Chalida, for their help and also their for their inputs for making this happen, and also my lab mates Francesco and Julia for their patience and teaching me a lot. And also I would like to thank to Erasmus Plus funding, from where I got the financial support, and it was really helpful for me to manage my expenses, and that's all about my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Obviously, I'm moved by these kind words. I think that is part of our game as teachers. So First of all, I open the discussion with the members of the board here, and obviously also with the members which are on the other side of the world in Bangkok.
May I?
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Sawadeka to Chalida and Sarisa. Let me just, my compliments for your presentation. Before I go on questions, let me just express my deep satisfaction because of this achievement that we are working on, and I want to thank in particular for this achievement, obviously, Paola and Chalida, that are the main actresses on this, and I know that it was a lot of work, but on the side of this basic stone on the collaboration, we started also collaboration on other sites with a very relevant university, the most important in Thailand, that is Chulalongkorn, with the department and also other departments. So I think this is within the achievement of this day, we are getting this very nice collaboration. So I'm quite satisfied today and quite happy about this. Sorry about this introduction. I know you're waiting for questions, so compliments for the work and for the presentation. I have obviously curiosity about interaction with polyphenols. So you organize your work in a way that the activities were of your characteristic of the emulsions were dependent on the content somehow of polyphenols. Do you have a comment coming from the literature of what can happen if the polyphenolic pattern is changing? Because you know that, so if there is any indication, not only on the total content, what do you expect if it is changing a polyphenolic pattern?
So, Prof, the polyphenols are polar compounds and they can interact at the interface. So, the number of amount of polyphenols can really... The number of polyphenols can really impact at the interface, and also as we know that polyphenols are tensioactive compounds, and so they can have some properties at the interface. They can have some competition because they also have some emulsification ability because they are polar compounds. So that's why we can expect the competition with as compared to proteins or the emulsifier with the polyphenols of the olive oil. So that can cause can change the colloidal properties of the system totally.
Okay, so there will be definitely an effect. So
of course,
it's a peculiar case. It is a peculiar case, the olive oil that has not such a large variability.
Prof, there can be large variability in the amount of polyphenols in the olive oil.
And just this is I have another question from, you are going to be a food technologist now, so how can you exploit your data for a different system, or because olive oil is not present all over the world, so if you are in Thailand, do you think you can apply, I don't know, in coconut oil the same approach? Or what would you do to develop emulsion for this? If you have ideas for this?
So, Prof, basically the idea behind this emulsification and specifically using olive oil was due to the fact that we wanted to utilize olive oil as a bioactive compound. So in case if we want to make emulsions with different oil, we can add or enrich with polyphenols, and if we want to have the same effect, so probably that can work in those systems as well.
Okay, so you can make a formulation with polyphenols from
yes,
waste.
That is optimization.
And use another oil.
Yes, Prof.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Any other question? Yes, Antonello.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Good afternoon, Chalida. Good afternoon, Sarisa. And well, I have two questions. The first one is, have you considered the impact of the pH of the human saliva on the characteristics of your emulsions? First. Second, what do you think is the main application of your results?
Right, Prof. So for the first question, that is more related to the sensory analysis, which can be our next approach by using the effect of saliva with the emulsions, because that is another system that is more towards the analysis in which we predict about the sensory perception with in the oral system with the saliva. So that can be the next part of our work. And for application that we till date we don't have any literature available on olive oil stabilized emulsions with pea protein isolates. So this work can help in formulation of beverages or bioactive we can say gels or emulsions for the production of innovative food. So and also more vegan friendly food. So that was the point, using olive oil specifically. You're welcome, sir.
Any other question from the members here in Teramo? No? If not, I would like to move also the discussion also in Thailand. So Sarisa.
Yes.
And Chalida, you're welcome.
Right. May I go first? First of all, I would like to thank you very much for very big support from your side, University of Teramo, of course. Long back, well, since several years ago, I think more than 3 years that we've been working together since well, the programs under CAPT, and then we also signed the MOU together. I think we came to Teramo with our head of department and our dean at that time, well, to about talking about the MOU and then sign the agreement, and then come now to the double degree. And now we have our first double degree student that nearly achieved his aim. And also at July, we also have your students from University of Teramo, right? Right now, 3 at July, and already back to Teramo, and then going to, go to the. Really? Say hello to them. I wish to see that as well in our sites. Well, in the near future, but we wish we will not long for them too. Okay, first of all, big thanks to all your support. And for Mujahid, I got a few questions to ask. Actually, some of my curiosity or my questions has been raised for others committee already. But I just wondering in your treatments, because you more like physical subjections, and when you do these about techniques. But in fact, when we have food products, it have to go under the heat process or to pasteurization, or some kind of cooking process as well, because your product may be a part of the ingredients or part of the products that later on is have to be under heat treatments. Have you any ideas on the effect of heat or temperatures on your emulsion or your combination undergo this technology?
Right, Prof. Thank you for your question. Prof, for this specific system, we didn't yet analyze for the heat stability of the emulsions, but in Thailand, I did a research in which while doing using different type of oil, and we found out the impact of heat treatments of pasteurization at pasteurization temperature, and the results confirmed that at pasteurization temperature the emulsions were stable with heat treatment. So we can anticipate, or we can expect the same behavior with these systems, and we can confirm it after performing, and hopefully it will work.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sarisa, Do you have any question?
Yes. Again, thank you for everything. I know it's a lot of work for like to reach at this point. Okay. So, Mujahid, thank you for working hard as well. My
Thank you so much.
question here is a little bit technical questions. When you look at the friction coefficients, right? So, which number that you like that you're looking for? Like, what is the friction coefficients that you want? Because now you're trying to understand how can I say, like you try to understand how it like behave, right? And then I would like to like understand more like what which number that we want to like tune this system to be.
So, Prof, for our specific systems, we basically try to analyze the differences within with changing the amount of oil content in the emulsion system. So, this system is basically the comparison within itself, but not with some other specified studies, because we don't have any literature already available, so we cannot compare our results with certain numbers. But the lower friction coefficients can help with better mouthfeel in the sense that they are better in creaming, and also for the slippery nature of the food. Also these findings can help with the comparison, and also the filling the gap in the literature, that how it will impact the tribological assessments.
Okay.
Right, Prof. Thank you so much.
Okay. That's all.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much. So, if there are no further questions, we have to stop a while, because the board has to agree about upon the final score of this of the dissertation, and then the final exam.
Yes, Prof.
And so we will move just outside, 5 minutes, and we will be back.
Right, Prof. Thank you so much.
Meanwhile, I invite you to
Okay,
take
Prof.
your coat.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we can leave?
5 minutes.
Okay. Sorry, Paula. I have another meeting with the Munich.
Okay.
So I have to
But the
leave first.
Sarisa
So
will remain. Sarisa will
yes,
remain.
Lisa will remain. Right.
Thank you. Chalida will be in
yeah.
touch.
Okay. Okay. Bye.
Yes, there is a coat. It's a black, full black coat for you. I try to fix video in presence, so apologize for my position here. So, Mujahid Hassan Khan, maybe, I don't know if the order is correct. Yes, perfect. I'm pleased to inform you that the board of the final dissertation of the master degree in food science and technology with the curriculum double degree University of Teramo with Chulalongkorn University has positively evaluated your degree exam with an overall score of 110 on 110 cum laude, and therefore, due to the power attributed to me by the rector, that he is here with us this morning, I award you with the title of Master Degree Doctor in Food Science and Technology. Let me conclude this moment, this time, this morning, just saying a few words about this double degree, that being part of a long, already several years of cooperation, signed also with a memorandum of understanding between the two universities, is for us, but I think that for also our partners in Thailand, is an important aspect of the higher education, as mutual recognition of the international quality of the higher education degrees of the two universities, and is an important opportunity for international collaboration also among the scientists, the researchers, and the teachers of the two universities, and as an example of friendship and cooperation between the two universities. Thanks for all, Sarisa, and please deliver our congratulations and greetings to all the department and the university. They didn't.
Thank you so
Sarisa,
much.
you have lost all that.
That's okay. Thank you so much, and we hope that we can make more collaboration.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So now they ask us to make pictures. So.
Okay. Stay on, right?
Yeah, Sarisa, thank you very much.
Hi, Sarisa.
Hi. Thank you so
Director.
much. So.
Hi, Sarisa.
Hi, Giampiero. You can stay in the back. You can stay in the back because we are taking the picture with you in the back.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. It's perfect.